Hello, online crew. Let's have a chat today about not needing more followers necessarily, but needing something else. So the title of this video, you don't need more followers to be successful. You need this. So I'm going to explain what this is. And let me preface this by saying you always want to be building your following, obviously. You do want more followers to agree because you always want new kind of eyeballs, but it's not really what you should be focusing on. What you want to focus on today in the environment on social media that we have right now is not more followers per se, not obsessing about numbers and views and new followers, although you should track all your numbers. It's what you really need. And I want you to hear me out when I say this. So wait for the explanation around this. Is you need trust with the followers that you already have. Okay. So you don't necessarily need more followers. You need trust with the followers that you already have. Now, what I want to share with you is how you gain that trust. And when you do gain that trust, you don't necessarily need a lot of people following you. You don't necessarily need a lot of views on a piece of content. But when you are really dialed in and you achieve that trust, you'll get people asking for information. Just before I started this video, I thought I want to give an exact example of what this kind of looks like. So I went to my TikTok. I just randomly picked out a video that I did a week or so ago, not massive views. I wrote it down. I got 3,064 views on this particular video. So not like for some of you that might be a lot of views, but for that's just kind of average views. So it's not 10,000, it's not 20,000, it's not 120,000. But on that one video of only 3,064 views, I had 38 people dropping the keyword for the information that I put on that video. So I gave some valuable information and I said, if you'd like more information about a particular product that I was talking about, drop a keyword. 38 people dropped that keyword. So I got 38 genuine leads from a video with only 3,000 views. Now, would you rather obsess over many more followers, 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers, 100,000 followers, or 10,000 views, 20,000 views? Or would you rather put a really good piece of content out and just get 3,000 views, but get 38 leads? So what are you focusing on? What are you concentrating on? If you're obsessing about the numbers, the views, the amount of followers, whether you're growing or not, you still want to track all that information. You want to know that you're headed in the right direction. Absolutely. But you don't want to obsess over that. What do you want to obsess over is building the trust with the people that are already there. The people that have already clicked that follow button or that friends button, whatever platform you're on. Build the trust with those people that are already there. And then that's where you'll get the leads and the skepticism will come down, the trust will grow. And then, people are willing to buy more when they trust you. Okay. So stop obsessing over followers, views, engagement, and really obsess over how do I build trust with the people that are already there. That will serve you well. Now, you're probably asking, okay, Helen, but how? And I want to give you some things. You could probably even write this down. And I also want to give you what I consider the trust formula. So if you've got a pen and paper, grab that because this is really kind of what makes the difference in 2026, this trust formula. So I'll read that out for you. Just before I do that, I just want to remind you guys that I'm not on my normal live schedule next week. I am flying from Australia to America again. I'm going to Chicago for the very first time ever. I've never been to Chicago before for a company conference. So I will be away all next week and the beginning of the week after. So I'm just not on my normal live schedule, public live schedule. Okay. Coaching community members, You still get your exclusive training next week. It's a great training, actually. So yeah, business as usual everywhere else, but these public lives that I do, I just won't be live next week or the first live of the following week. Okay. Coaching community members, if you missed the live Q&A Zoom call I did just before this live, go and watch the replay. We dived deep into TikTok, particularly how I'm getting the results that I am, how I'm achieving being number one enroller in my company, the scripts, how I build a relationship with cold market in TikTok, how I send them links, how I track my links. I shared my my Trello board in how I'm tracking all my links. Like I gave a lot of information of how I'm achieving what I'm achieving in my business. So if you're a coaching community member, go and catch the replay of live Q&A Zoom call number 1 for February. Okay, you'll get a lot of value out of watching that replay. Okay, so that's sitting in the coaching community Facebook group. If you are not a coaching community member, you should be. Get access to over $10,000 worth of social media training that I provide on all different topics, from personal development to branding to content to planning to prospecting and recruiting to all the training roadmap that I have. So yeah, just reach out or put coaching community in the comments if you want any information about that. It costs next to nothing. Okay, so how do we build trust if we're focusing on that? So you build trust through consistency, but consistency in what? Okay, so I'm going to read you some things that you need to be consistent with to build trust. Okay, consistency of your presence. So show up consistently, not just when you feel like it, not once a week, not even twice a week. Like pretty much every day, show up somewhere. So it's the consistency of your presence that builds trust. The consistency of your message. Do people even know who you help or what you help them with? You've got to have a consistent message. You've got to get sick of yourself talking about the same topic. I've used this example a few times in recent months, but it's just so true. Think of TV commercials. Why do they put in front of you the exact same TV commercial over and over and over and over and over again, sometimes multiple times in the same TV show? It's the consistency of message that gets the message through. So you have to have a consistency of message with what you do and how you help people. Okay, so it's the consistency of your presence, but it's the consistency of your message. Okay, it's the consistency of your identity and what do you stand for? What's your personality traits? It's like how do people connect with you? Your identity as such. So it's the consistency of that, the consistency of your values, and you can't expect people to know that about you unless you're real, raw, and authentic and share genuinely. Okay, the consistency of your energy. You can't be on point and have great energy, sometimes, but not very often. So generally in this industry, like the company will launch something and everyone gets excited for 5 minutes, shares some stuff, and then they go quiet. Like if you're excited about your business, maybe you're not excited physically all the time, but you need to share that energy that you are. People are not going to be excited about what you do or what you offer or how you help people or solutions that you've got unless you're excited about it first. So if you don't have good energy regarding your products, your company, your business, what you do, who you work with, what you're learning, how grateful you are to be in the industry that you are and the company that you are and work with the people that you are, don't expect anybody to get excited. And you put a post out and offer something for them to suddenly engage with you. You've got to have consistent energy around what you do and how you help people and how you show up. Okay. And consistency of all of that above, over time. Okay. Sheila, just checking in. If I have that amount of views plus getting that number of leads, that would be gold for me. Honestly, I would be laughing all the way to the bank. And this is what it takes. It's the consistency of the messaging, the value, how you help people. That's how I'm able to achieve what I achieve. So anybody can do it. I'm nobody special, Remember my story. Like, I came out of corporate. I might have been doing this a few more years than some of you, but this is not my background. This is not my training. I went to university. I did accounting first. Then I did a Bachelor of Business majoring in marketing, but that marketing is not the marketing that we do now. And then I went back and did like a law degree, like nothing to do with what I do here. It's just the enthusiasm and the ability to learn and be coachable, and learn from those that are getting results. And I've shared with you guys, like, I'm currently the number one enroller in my company and have been for the last 3 months. What I'm doing is working. So I'm sharing with you a lot of the things that I'm doing because it's working. So hopefully you're listening. Okay. So trust does take longer. You've got to have a realistic expectation about trust. Trust isn't built like that. Trust is built over time. Over time, doing the things that I just shared with you, consistency of your message, consistency of your values, consistency of your energy, all of that. But you've got to do it over time. I think too many people give up too early. People's expectations of this industry and social media is skewed. So you tried for 5 minutes, you tried for a couple of weeks, you tried for a month, you didn't get sales, and it doesn't work. No, it does work. You just didn't give it enough time. Building trust takes time. And this is where, where I shared with you my video earlier in the week. If you missed that, watch the replay, because it's not about what you can get from social media. It's what you can give and who you can serve. And when you give and when you serve and when you show up and you give value and you're genuine and you're authentic and you're helpful, that builds trust. But it takes more than just a few weeks to build that trust. So if you have a combination of what I shared with my video 2 days ago plus today, you can completely shift your results on social media if you have the consistency to build, the trust and give it more time. But do it with like a vision of giving value and serving, rather than what can I get from social media and how can I get that within just a few weeks. And I tried that for 3 months and I didn't get any sales. It doesn't work. It's like, no, it does work. You didn't give it enough time. And, I've used this example many, many times. If you want to lose weight, you can't just walk into a gym and think about losing weight or think about the good food you want to eat and think about it and suddenly lose weight and be a different version of yourself. You have to do the do. And too many of you are thinking about the success you want, thinking about the content that you should post, thinking about how you can build your business and get customers, but you're not doing enough. The only thing that eliminates overwhelm is consistency, but consistency in the right things so you can build trust, okay, and give it time, okay? So if you're just in and out, of social media when you feel like it, when you've got time and you treat it like, a bit of a hobby, you'll get paid like a hobby, if that. But when you go all in and build a brand, and you're consistent with your message and consistent with your energy and consistent with the value that you provide people, now you're going to build trust. And that's what gets you the sales. Like that example I gave you just before, that one TikTok, I only got 3,000 views, but I had, how many were it? 38 people asking for information on the product that I was talking about. How do I achieve that? Because they trust me to ask for that information. Because I'm building content every day. I'm giving value every day. I'm showing up. I'm sharing my journey. I'm authentic. I share the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, all of the above, and it builds trust. Okay. So here's the 2026 trust formula. Okay. If you're looking for a formula. So if you write down trust equals, so think of it like a sum. The sum of something or other equals, whatever. So trust is the end result. So trust equals clarity times consistency times credibility. You bring value to get credibility times connection, which is the human connection that you have with your followers. Don't worry about getting more followers. Worry about building trust with the followers that you already have. Times by time. That's the trust formula. Did you write that down? Trust equals clarity. So clarity in what you're doing. Who are you serving? What problems are you solving for them? The clarity in the messaging. So clarity times by the consistency of that times by the credibility you have. Do you even have credibility? When people look at you, when they scroll your social media, do you have credibility? How do you gain credibility? Give value without expecting a sale. Just give, share, provide valuable information. That's how you build your credibility. Okay. Times by connection, which is human connection. Some of you are taking attraction marketing way too far and you're posting and praying. Still, you're just posting content and expecting the people will come. You're not building any relationships with the followers that you already have. So human connection is huge. And times all of that by time. That's what equals trust. So we need to, deposit in each one of those areas. So each one of those areas: clarity, consistency, credibility, connection, and time. You need to invest in every one of those. And then you'll gain trust. And people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. Think of it like a bank account. You can't draw from a bank account until you make multiple deposits. That's what this trust formula is. The deposits that you're making in clarity, consistency, credibility, connection, and time. So they're the deposits that you're making in the bank account. And when you make enough deposits in the bank account, now you've got dollars to withdraw from. Now you've got, in relation to the trust formula, you've got trust that you can then draw from to make sales. So once you got trust, you'll make sales. Am I making sense to any of you? Like how this kind of works? So, back to the bank account example, you can't withdraw from the bank until you make multiple deposits. The trust formula is the same. Make multiple deposits in clarity, consistency, credibility, connection, and time. And when you make multiple deposits, you'll have enough in your bank account, you have enough trust that people will be willing to buy from you. Okay, that's how it works in social media. So don't be delusional about time or getting from social media. Okay, so let me just run through each one of those. Okay, so clarity. If they don't understand what you do or how you can help them, they're not going to trust you. So do you have clarity in your messaging on social media? If I scanned your social media, whatever platform that you're on, would I very quickly understand who you help and what you help them with? Like, is that crystal clear? If that's not crystal clear, then you need to go back to have a look at a bit of branding, or be more consistent and be clearer about what it is that you help people with. Okay, so that's clarity. The consistency of posting, the consistency of messaging. So posting, you've got to be consistent with that to build trust. And consistency of messaging. Unless you've got a really big network that hangs off your every word and you get engagement when you post every post, you probably need to go and create, some ICQ, intention, complement, question, and have some more questions. Have some more conversations. So, you've got the consistency with the messaging. I was on a leadership call with my company yesterday, and there was a gentleman that was speaking that has been in the industry, I think he said 35 years or something like that. And he was giving an example of how somebody in his team, maybe I'll do a separate training on this. It was basically just a 1, 2, 3 strategy. Just do these 3 things every day. So this person didn't really have, like, this was a lady in his team. She didn't really have a big following. She didn't really have kind of much credibility. Like, she didn't have a lot going for her on social media, but she did 3 things every single day. So that's like a combination of make sure you post every day, make sure you follow up with some people, like have some conversations every day, and then make sure you follow up with some people, like a really simple, what I would call a daily method of operation. Like, these are the 3 things that I'm going to do every day. That woman now earns, I think he said, like $150,000 a year or something, but he credits that, and she credits that to her 1, 2, 3 strategy. And that's just consistency. So stop overthinking all the things that you need to do and get down to just 3 things that you can do every day and every day religiously. And that's what builds momentum. So that's consistency. Okay. The credibility comes from your story, your experience, teaching, what you've learned, what you share, without expecting like a sale at the end of it. So credibility is how you show up. and how you share and how you give value. That's a huge piece of it. Every time you kind of give a bit of value, you share something interesting, people look up to you more. They start to trust you more. You start to build your credibility. So that's a huge piece of the trust formula. Okay. The connection piece, people trust who they feel connected to. People won't buy from you unless they feel a connection with you. They feel that you're genuine. They feel that you're authentic. They feel like they can see themselves in your story, or they see themselves in the pain of your journey, or where you started. Maybe that's where they are. When people feel a human connection with you, then the trust builds. So how are you building that on social media? Have a think about that. How am I building human connection with my content? How am I building human connection with the conversations that I'm having with people? That's all part of this trust formula. It's relatability. When people relate to you and they feel connected to you, and you can achieve that really quickly. I've proven that on some of the platforms. I know it's achievable because I've done it myself. Okay. And you get results like that video I just shared with you. I only had 3,000 views, but I had 38 people asking me for information on the product that I was talking about. Now, they wouldn't do that unless they trusted me. Okay. So I don't need, actually, my following on TikTok has been really, really slow, but I get great sales, #1 enroller in my company in Australia and New Zealand at the moment because of the trust that the audience that I already have there has with me. Because of the way that I show up. I show up all the time. I show up every day. I share good value. I teach them things. Okay, so it builds trust. And you got to do all of that over time because trust compounds over time. So that formula again, trust equals clarity times by consistency, times by credibility, times by connection, times by time. Teach that to your team if you've got a team. You got to deposit in each one of those areas to get trust, and people will buy from people that they know, like, and trust. Okay, so be consistent with that. Like, be realistic about this industry. Go all in for 12 months or more. All in. Refine your message. Stay in the game. Be consistent. Make deposits in each one of those areas I mentioned in that trust formula. Without much expectation. And like I've shared with you many times here, like, just start repurposing your content and make it easier for yourself. If you're creating new content every day, week in, week out, and you've been in this industry for a while, you're working way too hard. Okay, learn to work smarter and not harder. So I want to leave you with this thought. Attention gets you seen. So new followers, getting attention, getting likes, getting views and whatever. Like, if you're getting attention, it gets you seen. Awesome. But trust gets you paid. Okay. Do you get that? You're getting the gist of what I'm talking about here. Getting attention on social media. Awesome. It gets you seen. It raises more awareness. Amazing. But you don't just want to strive for just attention. You want more followers. You want more engagement. You want more views. If you're focusing on that, yes, it's all important. I'm not saying don't pay attention to that, but it's not what's most important. What's most important is building trust with the people that are already there. And how do you build the trust? The consistency in all the things that I mentioned in that trust formula that I just gave you. So look at each element of that trust formula. I hope you wrote that down. I'll say it one more time. Trust equals clarity times consistency times by credibility times by connection times by time. Deposit in each one of those areas like you would deposit money in a bank account before you can withdraw. Deposit in each one of those areas to build trust. And leave you with that comment again. Attention gets you seen, but trust is what gets you paid. Trust is what you're going for. Scan your own social media platforms and evaluate for yourself. Am I building trust? Am I giving enough value? Am I actually pouring into my audience? Am I even letting my audience get to know me? Am I storytelling enough? Am I sharing my journey? Am I using testimonials? Am I like all areas of that trust formula? I have no doubt you could lean into and do a better job of. Does that make sense? That makes sense. Drop the #1 for me. I really hope you hear me in this video. pair that with the video that I did 2 days ago regarding how you show up on social media and the difference between, getting and giving. If you pair the 2 videos that I did this week and really take on board what I'm sharing with you, you can completely shift your results on social media. Guarantee it. So I hope you got some value from that. And I just want to share with the coaching community members again, please watch the replay of the live Q&A Zoom call number 1 that I did just before this live. We talked a lot about how I'm getting my results, how I build connection with the cold market on platforms like TikTok and Instagram. I talked about the difference between Facebook and the other platforms. I shared my screen and showed how I track all my leads on my Trello board, what that looks like. I shared a lot about what I do in my business. So if you're a coaching community member, please go and catch the replay of that. And just a final reminder, I'm not live on this normal schedule for the next week and a half because I'm traveling to America next Monday for a conference for my company. So I will share my travels, follow my stories. I'm really looking forward to going to Chicago because I've never been there before. I'm really looking forward to the conference and what they're launching. I am not looking forward to the cold. It's going to be cold. I have to find snow weather type clothes when I don't have anything to do with the snow in where I live. So let's just hope my little toes and fingers don't freeze off. But follow along with my stories and my socials. I'll share the journey with you over the next week and a half. And I will be live this time in 2 weeks' time, sitting back in this chair. Okay, so I do hope you got some value out of this video and the one I did 2 days ago. Please take that on board. Think seriously about it because I know it can make a difference for you and your business. Okay, I'll catch you on my next video. Bye.